Hey loves, I'm Squid.
And I'm Cheer, and you're listening to
Not Your Pick Me,
a podcast that highlights gamers and content creators who are breaking barriers in hopes of making gaming and streaming communities safer and more inclusive spaces for everyone.
Stick around for some hilarious yet educational content. And just remember, no matter how much you want us to be, we're not your pick me. All right, well, welcome to this week's episode. We're going to be talking a lot about who we are, what our path to streaming was, why we even started this podcast, and what those goals and visions are, as well as trying to touch on some different vocab or terms that are used mainly in our communities. All right, Cheer. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so yeah, I'm Cheer. My full name is xoCheerGurl with a U, O-X. Super long, kind of regret making it that long, but things happen. It's a mouthful, so just call me Cheer, xoCheerGurlox. Cheese, which when people ask about that is because men on Call of Duty can't read, and they do call me Cheese Girl. But I am 30 years old. I live in New York City. On my off time, I'm an actual cheerleader, and I'm also a photographer, which I've done for 9 years, but 5 days a week I'm playing video games.
Nice.
All right, Squiddy, you tell us about yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Squid. My gamer tag fully is Squid0044. I wanted Squid, but obviously Squid was already taken. So I actually added on the 0044 because it was the numbers that were the end of my college email. A lot of people ask me where Squid came from. I've never had a nickname before, and I had a friend one day say that they wanted to make me a nickname. And literally Squid somehow ended up being the option. And so I have fully identified as Squid. I even have IRL friends that call me Squid. I have an undergrad degree in sports video and media production and a master's degree in higher education administration. So I'm really excited to hopefully use both of those within our podcast to help with education on different topics that we will be talking about. Also, fun fact about me, I'm terrified of birds. So
I've seen this girl run away from birds on multiple occasions. Bringing her to New York City might have been a slight mistake.
When you take an Alabama girl and you put her into the city of New York, and the pigeons who look like they could possibly eat you, it is quite terrifying.
I understand.
Also, I'm 26 years old. I play Call of Duty for a living. I'm queer, and we are so glad you're here. So, Cheer, I know people are probably really curious about how you got into streaming. You think you could tell us a little bit about that?
Of course I can. So basically, it all started with COVID-19. My partner was playing Warzone all the time, and I was just constantly saying, "Why are you screaming at the TV? Why is that so loud? Stop with the gunshots. I'm trying to sleep." And, a couple months of that, you learn if you can't beat them, join them. So as a joke, I was like, let me play. And I actually liked it. And so I spent the next couple weeks with my partner constantly being like, Are you sure? Are you sure you actually like playing that? Are you sure? You're not lying. You actually liked it? And while they were berating me with those questions, making sure I actually wasn't lying about enjoying a video game for the first time in my life, I was also scrolling through TikTok and finding other women who played, and I was like, this is so cool, which led me to find Twitch and follow mainly women gamers who are playing Call of Duty. And then one day, my partner was scrolling through TikTok and found some girl who was making sandwiches with the letter L and sent it to me. And that was you. And it was really adorable. They said, don't follow her yet. I'll follow her. I'll let you know when she goes live. And then you can follow her and you will get the, oh, thank you for the follow. And you had a community day where I played with you and you never let me leave. You held me hostage. And then your community was constantly asking when I was streaming. And I was like, I don't. And you're like, you will. You're going to. We're making it happen. And a year and 4 days ago, I hit go live for the first time. And now it's my full-time job. So thanks. How did you get into streaming, Squiddy?
See, mine didn't necessarily start with COVID. It definitely had an impact, but mine started with a divorce. So I actually separated from my ex-husband back in January of 2020. And I realized that from that relationship, I had lost a lot of myself. Didn't know exactly who I was going to be, what I enjoyed, what I liked doing on my own. And then I found refuge in gaming. I really just started playing at first, having a good time. And then my roommate at the time had a friend who showed how easy it was to go live through a PlayStation. And me, being the person who likes to record things and then show friends because I think it's cool, even though they don't think it's cool, I started going live so that I could get clips of things and see what that looked like and show my friends the super average gameplay that was happening. After a while, I decided I was going to start promoting on TikTok and had a few people come in, and I was like, oh, this is great. And I realized in that moment that I was creating friendships and community all across the world that I never knew was even possible. And being able to create those friendships and seeing that love and being able to have that safe space that also helped me come out as a queer woman was something that I decided gave me more purpose in life than any other job that I've ever had. Cheer, you mentioned about the sandwiches with the L's. So I know some people might be a little confused by that. I realized very quickly in the Call of Duty world that these guys really just weren't creative in their trash talk. And so I realized that one of them that was said often was, go make me a sandwich. And while Cheer loves to ask them if they aren't tall enough to reach the counter, I decided that I would make them a sandwich. And instead of a PB&J, we got a PB&L for the loss that they were about to have to eat because they were going to lose. And that infuriated them. That was actually one of the first TikToks that really blew up, I think, for the Squid Squad and for our community. And people really enjoyed that because it was actually something that felt original at the time. And so that is where PBNL was born.
So some people who are listening might not be as online as we are. So why don't we let them know what like Discord and TikTok and Twitch and all that is, especially TikTok, because I feel like everyone that's not on TikTok thinks TikTok is just like Charli D'Amelio dancing.
While Charli D'Amelio's dances are wonderful, don't get me wrong, there are different niches of TikTok that people don't notice or don't realize are actually there. I found it really interesting because I actually happened upon gaming TikTok out of nowhere. I was not watching any gaming stuff, but somehow Crusader popped up on my screen. And I was like, wait a minute, there is a gaming side of TikTok? So when it comes to TikTok's algorithm, if you like a specific video, it will take that into account. After a while, if you like enough of those videos, your entire timeline might become only those videos. I warn my friends all the time. They say, I'm going to go follow you on TikTok. I say, do not like my videos, or you're going to only get gaming videos on your TikTok. And I know that that's not fully your niche in the area that you want to watch all the time. Just like there is lesbian TikTok. You get on the side of lesbian TikTok, there's no going away. There is no going away. You are stuck. I'm not upset. I enjoy being stuck there. But that's kind of how TikTok works. It very much tracks the content that you enjoy, the content that you actually watch fully through. Sometimes even if you don't like the video, but you watched the entire video through or watched it multiple times, those things are tracked as well.
Those videos that you put down while you're wiping after scrolling through on the toilet, those are what get you. When it plays nonstop, you're going to see that content for a while.
What's so funny is I relate to that wholeheartedly.
Everyone does.
I have sat there with a video playing over and over and over, and after a while, I'm like, I need to change it. And I'm not even done, but I'm like, swipe. Oh, man.
Yeah, and another like great thing about TikTok, besides it being so like fine-tuned to what you're looking for, is that like it's easy to blow up on TikTok for the most part. If you figure out the algorithm, you can make it easy to blow up on TikTok. Like I have a video with like over 4 million views. It's mostly hate. It's me calling out a homophobe who was using queer in a derogatory way, and it blew up because all the like edgy 16-year-old boys are like, you wouldn't last a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. Meh. Like thousands of comments like that. And that blew up. Like I blew up from TikTok. They were coming over to my Twitch. I was getting like lots of hate comments on Twitch. I was also getting positive comments, and I've found a lot of like great queer people who were like fellow queer people who were happy to see me like actually speaking up about that and giving them the courage to also speak up in the future. So like you can blow up that way, but it's not the best way. But if your video starts getting traction, it's nonstop. Once TikTok sees that people are commenting and people are viewing it, they start pushing off to everyone. It doesn't feel as like genuine because like not all those people come over to Twitch. It's a good starting point, but you have to make sure that you use that to push them to other platforms that are more meaningful, because TikTok could go down tomorrow. So it's like a double-edged sword, I guess, because it's like you could grow super fast, but you need to also work on other things.
That's what's really interesting about TikTok, is that there are positives and negatives about it. You're always going to run into the people who decide that they're just going to be hateful in your comments, or you end up running into a really good community that comes out of nowhere. And I was very lucky and very fortunate that there's only a few videos that I've had people that there was maybe more hate comments than positive comments. But the thing about TikTok is it has discoverability that is attached to it. Whereas Twitch, YouTube, there's not as much discoverability. When you're on TikTok, you're swiping through a For You page, you get a new person almost every time. TikTok does what it needs to do to try and put out new content. Whereas Twitch, the only way that someone can find you is that they go to the browse page and they scroll a little bit. So being able to put that TikTok content out and do that marketing through TikTok has been huge. And so that's been really big for mine and Cheer's growth, as well as mine and Cheer's pain.
Not even like besides just the like disgusting hate comments, like those I could deal with. Sometimes it's the TikTok teens who are just making an observation that really get me. I had a comment that just said, you look like the ghost in the bathroom at Harry Potter, and now half my comments are just calling me Moaning Myrtle. And you know what? That hurts more than someone calling me a slur.
I'm dead.
Apparently so am I, and I'm haunting a bathroom in Harry Potter.
I love that too much. Halloween costume?
I've never seen Harry Potter.
We're done. We can end this podcast now. This was fun while it lasted. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Squid, signing out.
Squid's breaking up with me.
Okay, Cheer, I could never do that. Oh, man. Okay. So we also mentioned a little bit about Twitch and about its discoverability, but I realized too that not everyone knows exactly what Twitch is. Twitch is the platform that Cheer and I stream our video games on. It is the largest platform, I believe, for streaming video game content. There are definitely other places that people stream, such as YouTube and Facebook. Twitch is known specifically for streaming. You don't only have to stream video games. There are other areas that people stream as well, such as like music or art. So I think that's what makes Twitch so special when it comes to streaming, is because that is the thing that they focus on.
And another great thing about Twitch is like the community, like within the streamers that you could build. Like while you're watching someone, you're making friends in chat. Like you're talking not only to the streamer, sometimes they're busy, is like hanging out at a show, like a concert. The people there are there to see the same thing. You already know you have a common denominator, and you could joke about inside jokes from the stream, joke about what's happening. A lot of people check in on each other like, hey, I know last stream you said you're going through this. How's that going? How's your dog? How's your kids? Squiddy burnt herself on stream. Everyone was asking her how her eye was. Got a lot of medical advice. Please consult a doctor, not a Twitch stream if you're injured. But yeah, it's not just sitting there and just watching someone do something. There's like interaction. You could have polls. You could bet on like predictions. While you watch people, you get these channel points and you could redeem stuff. They're different for each channel. Like I have for 5 minutes, I'll talk like a New Jersey Italian man if you redeem it, or you can make me do keyboard and mouse. Squid has one where she puts a hat on or she'll sing you a song. There's cool ways to interact. I know a lot of people are like, I'm not just going to watch someone play video games, but it's like so much more than just that.
It's so much more. And it's really fascinating too, because I've been able to see progression of people becoming friends. And not only just becoming friends, I have seen the progression of someone getting married from my stream and from the Squid Squad. That's what's really cool, is that you start creating these connections, but then we also open up a Discord, which is a place that is separate from Twitch. It's separate from TikTok, and it's a place where people can communicate and they can talk about similar interests. It's basically like a large chat group where everyone can go in. They can create different groups for themselves, different Discords for themselves, that they all play games together. There are people who really love anime that talk about different anime things in different chats. There are people who share their photos, who share their favorite music. There's so many options within Discord, which is this obviously large chatting platform and communication platform that has endless possibilities. And the fact that we had 2 humans come from the chat of Twitch to join the Discord, to then play a game together that they found a common interest in, to now being married. It's fascinating, the things that you can see and the power that gaming and streaming and this online community can have on everyday lives.
Yeah, speaking of, we are launching our own Not Your Pick Me Discord, so you could make friends with other people who are listening. If you're coming in from our communities, you'll definitely see familiar names and faces, and it'll be a great way to connect with people who, like we said, have common interests, but also talk about what you heard, give us ideas on future episodes. And the link for that is going to be in the show notes, and also Squiddy and I will be relentlessly reminding you about it via our streams.
We just want more friends, okay?
Exactly.
Something that's really important to note as well is that this Discord is going to be extremely queer friendly, very open and inclusive to anyone that wants to be able to learn more about the podcast or just find other people that are similar to them. So please know that this is a safe space, and that this Discord will also be moderated to make sure that your safety is the priority and your security in general and happiness in this Discord is going to be taken care of. Really, the main reason why we started doing this is because we wanted to create an educational space for people who are open-minded and looking for new content creators that they may be able to connect to, in different communities that they might find supportive to who they are as a human being, as well as highlight different areas of the gaming community, the streaming community that are not talked about as much as they should. And so if you are looking for something like that, Not Your Pick Me is going to be the perfect podcast for that. We're really excited because we're going to have in a lot of guests that are going to be able to talk on their personal experiences. We know that you all see more people than we do on Twitch and find other areas that maybe we haven't seen, and would love to get your suggestions on people that we should talk to and have on the show as well.
Yeah, we wanted like a platform where we could fully speak on these things. We touch on it in our Twitch streams. Like if someone comes in and says something slightly problematic or like fully problematic, we are going to like speak about it and educate. But like there's only so much you could do while you're also playing a video game. And, you know, chat's going and other people are chiming in and our friends are screaming in the background trying to get us to like plant the bomb. But we're like, you shouldn't be racist. Like we can only go so far while we're, you know, playing a game, entertaining other people, focusing on other things. This is getting our full attention and we could articulate our thoughts better than when we're trying to, you know, snipe someone in a video game.
Yeah, because I think it's really important that we actually take that time. I know that it's hard to be able to do it through streaming because I mean you and I experience that almost every single day that we stream. But it deserves more time. It deserves more focus, and I think it also deserves more voices. And this is going to be a wonderful way to be able to share that with others.
Yeah, it also deserves our brain power. You know, sometimes someone comes into my chat and says something, and on any other day, I would rip them a new one while also educating my chat. But if I had a long day, I've already been dealing with stuff. They just get the ban button and I'm done.
I know that we talked highly on these different platforms, such as like TikTok, Discord, and Twitch. Just like anything, though, there is always an area that deserves work and that needs to be worked on. Cheer, I know that you've seen a lot of these hate raids and things like that happen on Twitch. Could you tell me a little bit more about them?
So thankfully, I personally haven't been hate raided. I definitely, when my homophobe video was blowing up, I got a lot of people coming in and giving me hate. But a lot of, I think it was back in, I'm trying to think, September-ish, sometime around then, there was a big problem with mostly streamers of color getting hate raided, specifically usually Black streamers. And a hate raid would be either a lot of bots going into a stream. Like they have these bots go in and like say slurs and like say all these mean things. And they usually find a way around like moderation settings by using special characters. So it'll be all squiggly and weird, but it'll say like a slur. Like you could tell it's a freaking slur. And it would just be hundreds and hundreds of messages. They would send followers. So you'd get like thousands of followers at a time. That would be slurs. Another way you would do a hate raid would be like a specific terrible streamer would send their community to another streamer. So after an end of a stream, you could raid someone. It's typically a nice way to share your community with another community. You end your stream and it automatically sends your viewers there and it's like, yay, like welcome in. But people would do it in a hateful way where they would send their viewers over there and it would be like, you're ugly, you suck. And it's like, what's the point? That happened to a lot of like women streamers. I also saw there were people who would be people making accounts with like streamers' government names, streamers' addresses, like doxing them via alerts. So it would pop up like 123, your address is following. A lot of people think Twitch isn't doing enough because the main stuff Twitch has come out with is just like, use the moderation settings. And it's like, they're not working.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Cheer, is that while it is so traumatic to see live and try and get those things out of your stream, the streamer is responsible for what is said on their stream. In chat, anything that is said by their friends, anything that is said by them, anything that is said by an opponent. You are held responsible for the things that are going out and the content that is being released. And sadly, that is really hard to combat in an already stressful moment. The worst part is that usually the person who does that hate raid or who does send these people over will automatically report you. Or someone who you are playing against realizes that you're streaming they will say as many slurs as they can, come to your channel, and then report you for the things that they said.
Yeah, and it's exhausting to have to act like it doesn't bother you, because that's what they want. They want the reaction. They want you to get upset. They want you to like yell at them or end stream. Like we've said, it's your community. It gets you through things. It got you through your divorce, me through COVID. There's so many great things about streaming, and these people just want to like ruin it.
And it doesn't even just affect the streamer. The chat is affected. The chat has to still hear and see all of those things when they came to a stream that they felt safe to. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're bombarded with things that they have been hit with throughout their entire life that is extremely upsetting and can be really emotionally taxing. That's something that streamers are really still having to combat and still having to try and stay on top of for the good of their mental health as well as the mental health of their family and their chat.
Yeah, like we've made these communities and it's like we want to protect them so bad. Like I like to be like, you're like my babies. I love you so much. And when someone comes in and tries to like shit on them or me and it upsets them, like, let me at them.
You're done. You're done.
You're done.
Cheer, it's really interesting the game we play, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we are two queer women who play Call of Duty, which is known for its trash talk. Its fan base is usually super misogynistic, homophobic, racist. And then we get in there and we fight against all of it.
It's really fascinating because I think that we also pick one of the most toxic game modes in this first-person shooter game. And it's one where basically you go against each other 6v6. If you die, you're dead. There's no coming back until the next round. And so whenever it goes in between rounds, you can hear the other team. And hearing the other team and the things that they have to say and the trash talk and the immediate response when they realize that we're women, ooh, that is something else. But if you don't have 6 friends to play with, which sometimes we actually run into those situations where it'll just be me, Cheer, and Latin dropping into search and destroy, those people could possibly be on your team. I know that I've made a TikTok before where we had really toxic guys that were on our team when we were the ones carrying them. The only reason they won is because of us. Yet they still talk trash the entire time because we are women.
And you forgot to mention that not only in between rounds can you hear the enemy team, but when you kill someone, you get a like 3-second clip of what they're saying after you killed them. And I feel like sometimes that is the like what sets the ground for the toxicity, because that could be anything from like good shot to like I hate you, like. And then once you get in between rounds and you're switching sides, that's when it's like, or they killed you and heard you're a woman. That's when it all starts. Everyone starts screaming and yelling and talking trash.
And that's when we start being labeled as dishwashers, sandwich makers. You know, I didn't realize how good of a housewife I could be, but they seem very, very sure that I have those abilities. Little do they know I haven't done my laundry in 2 weeks, so.
I've been labeled both a 5-year-old boy and a 50-year-old woman. So I can do it all.
I think it's my favorite thing whenever you're talking to people and you say, I could be your mother.
Yeah, I usually tell them to have their dad call me when they say I'm old. I'm like, yeah, have your dad call me. What's up? I'll be your new stepmom. It's fine.
My favorite thing is that Call of Duty really tried to be inclusive by adding in all the different queer and pride flags. Yet we use them, and now it is a target for violence. People really love whenever they see that rainbow inclusive queer flag as your calling card, which is a little picture that will pop up if you kill someone or make a really good play. Your calling card will pop up as an identifier. And if they see that, there's no turning back for them. They think it is the craziest thing that queer people play video games. I think it's really fascinating because like I have grown from the beginning of my streaming career to be more of myself because I was working a full-time job at the time. And it's really crazy because it makes you think about these societal standards and norms of you have to speak a certain way. You have to think only certain things are funny. Your humor can't be this
vulgar.
Your humor cannot be this vulgar. And yet that's what I think is funny. I find humor in that stuff, and so do obviously mine and Cheers community especially. And so when I started streaming, everything was PG. I told a dude it seemed like he played with no thumbs. I said, I hope that the other side of your pillow is warm when you flip it over. I think at one point in time, I said, I don't think your mom hugged you enough as a child. And that one was a stretch for me. But now you get a lot of different things. You get a lot more comments on how your mom loves me. So
I've tainted you. Yeah, like there's a difference between vulgar and like toxic. We say gross stuff. You started off PG. I started off same as I am now, but my mic was muted. Like JD would laugh. I would be screaming at these dudes and they would be like, what are they saying? And I'd be like, oh, I'm not actually yelling at them. My mic's muted. Like I'm just expressing my feelings. A lot of the people on this game are like gross. Like they say gross things. They threaten to assault us. They're gonna kill us. They say these like horrible, disgusting things. But if we do it back in a not so like terrible way, they freak out. I had a game where the dude said something like, were you on your period? And the whole rest of the game, I was threatening to slap him with my tampon. I was going to stick my pad to his forehead. And they were like, what is wrong with you? Like, why would you say that? That's disgusting. But like, you're gonna threaten to like traumatize me. Like, I'm gonna put a tampon in a Nerf gun and shoot it at you. What's so wrong with that? Why can you say gross things, but I can't? So they don't like when you flip it around. But there's definitely a difference between, full on threatening someone and just funny little haha gross jokes.
What's really funny too is that like a period is natural. And that was the thing that made it gross to them, was the fact that there was a period involved. But not even that, like they'll threaten all these things and then we make any comment back and they call us a pick-me.
Men on that game learn words and then use them in the wrong way for the rest of forever. They heard a girl say pick me and they're like, that's what girls use to yell at each other. That's what we use now in any context. They don't realize that a pick me is typically, it's mostly a girl who is trying to impress the boys and hating on other girls. Like if there's a pick me on the other team, she's telling us to shut up. She's laughing at the go make me a sandwich jokes. She's not calling them out for like saying gross things to us because she wants to get picked by them. She wants to be accepted by them. And it's always just like, love yourself. Like they're treating us like this. They're going to treat you like that at some point.
And that's the thing. Anyone could be a pick-me. Like it's not just women. There are different groups that they'll do anything to fit in with the group that is the majority. They'll do anything to fit into that group that they are nervous that they are going to be attacked by them if they do not join them. So yeah, I mean, pick me is used a lot in video games. It's a very common term. But recently I've found as well, people who don't even play video games use the term pick me because it can apply to any situation, such as like friend groups, to your own job. Because what happens is people who are in these marginalized communities feel that it's easier to just go with the flow, laugh it off, maybe even go as far as making jokes about themselves and who they are in their marginalized communities, as well as other marginalized communities in the world, because they think that that's going to give them the in. They think that that's going to be safer because they have that internalized misogyny, as well as like internalized racism, internalized homophobia, because in the long run, it feels easier just to go with it and be accepted, because we are trained to believe and see that men can be better, they're stronger, they make more money, they're there to protect, when that is not the case. That is not the case at all.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely a difference, because you could, like, you know, someone makes a joke around you and you're not comfortable with it, but you know you kind of have to laugh along for like your safety. You know, like you're at a bar and a man says something and you're like, okay, anyway. So there's definitely like a line where, like, obviously, yes, sometimes you have to kind of just go with the flow, like for your safety, your level of comfort. But I feel like it's when they seek out these people and are like the girls that are like, I only hang out with guys because girls are too much drama. Like, men start wars. What are you talking about? Anyone can start drama, you know, like.
I think it's really interesting because Cheer and I watch a lot of streamers. We've seen a lot of different streamers, a lot of people who have different takes on things, specifically through streaming, because you can see it live. You can see when someone is feeling like they need to do that to be successful. If we were to encourage anything, if you were to be in gaming or if you were to be in streaming, to be yourself and to stand up for what you know is right and know what people deserve, especially in your community and even in others' communities as well.
Even when I started Twitch, like, I saw all these streamers who were like, we don't talk politics, we don't talk about that. And I was like, well, shit, like, that's what I gotta do. Like, I've been vocal for years. Like, I don't hide the way I feel about things. Even if I try, my face is gonna tell you how I feel about it. So for like a little bit, I was like, I can't really speak up about these things. I shouldn't talk about how I'm feeling about like certain issues. And I tried my best to do that. And then it slowly started slipping out. Which, like, thank God, because it was exhausting holding all of my thoughts in at all times. But it also helped. I was playing with a viewer who is now like one of my good friends, Hannah. We love her. She's part of the Minor Squad. We were playing with another person who was in the community, and like he said like the R slur, and I was like, my face was definitely like, I want to say something, but I feel like I can't. And she was like, no, don't say that. And he was like, what? She was like, you can't say that word. What are you doing? Why would you say that? And it was just like, ding. You can have people that are cool with you calling other people out. And it planted that seed. And now that's all I do.
That's the thing, Cheer. We are given these platforms. You and I have been given a larger platform. And so we obviously have found that it is better for us and it is better for our communities and better for everyone in general to stick up for people who may not be there in that moment to be able to stick up for themselves. And that being said, anyone has a platform. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. You have a platform just talking to someone in your everyday life. So talking with those people and making sure that you don't let things slide just because it's easier is huge, because you should stand against transphobia, homophobia, racism, misogyny, and make sure that people realize that it's not okay to act like that. And that if you are going to act like that, you're going to hear something about it. You're not going to be able to just say it behind a screen without hearing me say that I don't agree with it.
Exactly. And that's why I always use, whenever someone comes in, even if it's a troll and says something, I use that time, and I know you do too, to continue to speak about it. Because even though they're a troll, they're not going to listen or retain any of that information. The other people watching and listening will. Even if people who already thought like, oh, I'm not a racist, you will plant the seed for like, oh, I gotta think about these other microaggressions and I shouldn't say this. And I never thought about it that way. And like planting all of these seeds on people that didn't even know that that's what they were there for. But the troll helped educate people. So joke's on them.
It's interesting too, Cheer, because like we fall into these different categories that are being hated on and that are being disrespected or whatever. Yet we still have privilege in our own lives of being white women. We identify as women. And while women do still get hated on, there are other areas such as people who are non-binary, who are hated on because people don't understand that someone can feel that way or that someone is that way. And so we still have these areas of privilege where we are given this extra leg up of being white, being women. Both of us are very straight passing. And so it's really hard sometimes too to even talk on areas that we are not affected by.
So yeah, I think what you were getting at, Squid, was just like our goals of the podcast. Number one is definitely empowerment. We want to create a community and sense of belonging for marginalized people within the larger gaming and streaming community that don't feel like they have to be pick-me's and are being their authentic selves. Our secondary aim is education. We want to use our privilege and the platforms that we already have to continue what we're doing, which is standing up to homophobia and racism, ableism, all that garbage, while teaching others how to do the same, which I feel like we have been doing, but it hasn't been like our goal. It just kind of happened that people watched and learned.
Yeah, no, true. Those are our main visions for what this podcast is supposed to be. I think at the same time, we want to have a good time doing it. We want to be able to also create friends across the platform as well, while we educate and while these individuals educate us on their personal experience. We are also taking an active stance on educating ourselves and continuing to learn things. And we want to be able to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So we feel like this podcast is going to be a great way to do that and to be able to do it in a really fun and exciting way.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Not Your Pick Me, hosted by me, Squid.
And me, Cheer.
Join our community over on the Discord and follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more exclusive content. When you leave a review, tell us about the topics and creators that you want to learn more about.
Our executive producer is Janice Matsko of Empowerment Ventures, and our theme music was created by Brandon Peralta.
Until next time, guys, all my lovin's.
And thanks for hanging out.